Hello, I'm Gary Sinise, and this is Hiring America. For the next 30 minutes, you'll see stories about military veterans and their families. Hiring America is a show that provides real career opportunities for veterans and features stories about remarkable organizations supporting the military community. Stay tuned, and you'll learn more on how you can support this vital mission.
This week on Hiring America, a look at what may be the strongest and most resilient group to serve our country, military spouses. We'll find out how some are starting portable careers to help them overcome some daunting obstacles. And we'll meet one spouse who's found success by starting her own business. Hiring America starts now.
The Armed Forces provides amazing training.
I think about veterans as people who have already figured out how to serve.
My military skills have been essential.
Hiring veterans is a great business case. They're the best employees we have. They're flexible, hardworking, and they're used to a global workplace.
If that isn't an asset to any company, I don't know what is.
Hiring America, the award-winning television job fair for American veterans. Connecting you with companies who know your value. Learn about employers who are actively hiring today and organizations that support veterans. Your future success starts right here on Hiring America.
Hiring America, produced in partnership with DAV, fulfilling our promises to the men and women who served.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television series that helps military veterans find jobs and transition into meaningful careers. I'm Lauren Wonko. Today we're in Washington, the site of a roundtable discussion spearheaded by the National Military Spouse Network. This group was formed to tackle the problem of military spouse unemployment. And while laws and attitudes need to change, the group also urges spouses to approach their careers with a different mindset.
This segment is brought to you by USAA, celebrating the strength behind the service.
I've always loved serving people.
You want everything in here? Over there.
And especially when people eat my food and they like it, that's my love language. Being a military spouse, I think there's so many challenges that nobody realizes that you go through. We've lived all over the continental United States, Japan, Hawaii. It's a challenge. Some places you would go, they could tell by your resume that you were a military spouse and weren't very receiving.
The DoD has reported that the military spouse unemployment rate is 24%. Yeah, which I think is 6 times the national average.
Some of the challenges that military spouses face is the inherent constraints of moving every 18 months to 2 years often. And so how do you establish a career when you're constantly facing the constraints of those moves?
That stigma still remains that, why would I hire a military spouse if they're gonna move, for sure? And the National Military Spouse Network, we built it just so military spouses would have a place to go, to find their tribe, and to learn all the skills they need to know to build a portable career or their own business, and to really share the resources available to them.
Here today, we are going to have thought leaders from across the country coming together, sharing best practices so that the National Military Spouse Network leadership team can go back to talk to the leaders in the military and talk about ways that we can make change, how we can bring military spouses into the workforce that want to be in the workforce, how to give them the tools they need to start their own entrepreneurial endeavors.
I actually do think spouses make good entrepreneurs because they have to basically pick up and go to a new location so often. I think you build up a certain form of resilience and just adaptability to change because everything is always changing. It's sort of built into the lifestyle.
We're resilient, we're flexible, and we learn new things really quickly.
I wanted to be an entrepreneur because I knew that I could be transient with it. It would move with me. I wanted to highlight me and my experiences where I've lived, the food that I love. Being an entrepreneur has made it so that no matter where I go, I can be me, my food, passion for what I love to do, serving people. I can take that anywhere.
And there's so many other careers that are portable right now. I look at a lot of freelancers, for instance, or folks that are just working from home, working in the remote workforce. So that's a concept that I feel like in the last even like 9 to 10 years has just really exploded.
I don't know that the challenges have changed. I think the opportunities have changed, right? Because with the advent of telework or technology, people are able to work virtually now. And so a military spouse who may be at in DC with a career and a job maybe in the government or in the private sector can potentially turn that job into a telework opportunity. In other situations, they could also freelance.
We need family members to be happy with the choices that they have, with the schools that the kids go to, and military spouse employment. If a military member is not comfortable with their financial situation, or if they've gotten into financial trouble, and they have to be deployed, they can't go. It becomes a retention issue, a readiness issue, and a national security issue.
I think portable careers are fantastic. It's a way to take a career for the longevity of your military spouse career. Eventually our loved ones are going to get out of the military, and they're going to have to transition out. Having a portable career creates a continuity from duty station to duty station. They're able to grow and develop skills. So that day when the military family does transition, that military spouse might be that person that has that constant stream of income that allows that veteran to find the perfect job, to not go without pay, to offer that time for that family to adjust.
I think it's more trying to empower this group of often women that are trying to have these portable careers, often with the constraints of being in a marriage with somebody who's very mobile. Just the kind of shift in attitude and perspective in terms of that is really important. So I definitely feel like this shift in perspective is creating a lot of opportunity for military spouses in terms of the fact that you can be a productive, contributing member of a company, whether you're present or working remotely.
Creating a portable career was a necessity for Trish Alegre Smith. As her own Air Force service ended and her husband's continued, she was able to combine her passion for photography with her desire to help support the family.
Yes, in towards me. Oh, I see the dimple coming out, so you know you're having a good time.
I started my business 5 years ago here in this area.
Or have you turned the other way?
Then we moved overseas to Germany for 3 years. Struggled to keep the business going, and then moved back here within the last 18 months. So it's been a business that's been on the move.
I'm going to fix your hair. You're going to stay right there.
Today is an example of what I normally do for my clients, especially my corporate clients. They may have an important meeting, an important conference or agenda that they're working in, or an initiative that they're pushing. And what they want to do is make sure that they document that, usually for press releases, put it maybe on their social media, their website.
You feel silly, but you look great.
For me, photography was a hobby. It was something that I've been doing since I was a kid. So that way I was able to collect equipment and build up assets for that I used in the business on the side while I was working a full-time job. And that mitigated the risk, because business, you don't make money in your first year. If you survive your first year, you're great. You're probably better than about 80% of the other businesses out there if you can survive your first year. So getting through that first year, either having enough savings or making sure that you just do it on the side and slowly build up the equipment, the assets, and the knowledge that you need in order to make your business succeed full time.
Yes, like that.
Portable career, for sure it is something that it doesn't have any specific blueprint. It's one thing where you have to make your business plan up as you go along, depending on where you move, what your goals are for that particular time period, and then how much money you really want to make. So there's many different ways of doing a business plan, but what makes military spouses unique is really thinking about that portability aspect. Is what you're doing as a business, could you do it no matter where you moved? If you moved, what's your plan of keeping it going? Is this a business that you can have somebody maybe in the location you started your business keep going, and you can run it virtually from another location? The first time I met with other business owners that were very successful, the first thing they asked is, what is your business plan for when you move? And could you apply that plan if you had to move today?
I think it's amazing the work that you guys do on behalf of military spouses.
I found the National Military Spouse Network about a year before I started my business. So I went to go to the summit and I was hooked from that point on because I met people that were like me. They were military spouses who had either previous careers or were interested in starting a career or re-entering the workforce, and they were equally as ambitious, equally driven, and they had a goal in mind, but they needed other people to help them get there, or they just needed that start, that door opened. And I said, I could do this. I could be part of this group. It's a very well-connected group, so as far as opening that door to get you your first start or giving you that tough love, yes, your idea sounds great, but have you thought of this, this, and this? And before you pursue this, maybe you need to look at what you need to do to really make this a success.
For more information, visit nationalmilitaryspousenetwork.org. Still ahead on Hiring America, how a Marine veteran turned his own personal challenges with the transition to civilian life into a source of recovery for others.
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam. When I came home, I didn't know where to turn.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory's been never giving up hope. My wife is always there to remind me we have a life to live.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran, but after I got out, I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet. Now I'm getting things right with my family.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. I am a veteran. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Mike Waldron is one of thousands of veterans who struggled when he came home from the war in Iraq. But by researching why he was suffering from combat stress, he was able to recover and start a program to help others.
I served in the Marine Corps from 2000 to 2004 as in the infantry in the initial invasion to Iraq. So I was in combat in 2003. It was about 6 years after combat that I fell into some pretty severe symptoms of combat stress. I didn't know what it was. I thought I was just dying every day. I was having these panic attacks thinking they were heart attacks. And life became really difficult to live. I was isolated. I wasn't comfortable in society. So I did a lot of studying in our brains to learn why my brain changed in combat. The first thing to realize is our brains are supposed to change in combat. It's a survival mechanism, and it's a good thing. If we're facing similar traumatic situations on a recurring basis, we're supposed to be able to have our bodies react to them before our thinking brains knows what's happening. But what happens is we don't realize our bodies are reacting to a life and death scenario when we're back in a safe environment. The 23rd Veteran started 4 years ago, and our purpose is to help veterans transition after a traumatic event in the military. So what we do with our 14-week program, we start with combating that isolation. We get a dozen veterans from a city, send them backpacking and rock climbing for a week in the mountains with an organization called Outward Bound. But what we do is build really strong camaraderie there for that week. So when we come back, we feel safe going out into town together. Not only do we feel safe with this new team, but we want to go out into town with this new team because we haven't had a team like this since we were in the military. Our target market is generally veterans that are isolated, maybe depressed, anxiety, panic attacks. We take them from that place of unhappiness, and through this 14-week program, bring them out to a place of being happy and successful and contributing again in society.
3, 2, 1, go!
We go to a CrossFit gym and we work out for an hour. And after each workout, we go through a very unique positive psychology program. And that's the heart and soul of this program is called our playbook. Everybody sits down and they go through 3 things they're grateful for that day. And then we continue with a discussion question that's based in accessing a couple of very important chemicals like oxytocin and serotonin in our brain. We add civilians halfway through, and they follow all the same rules: no drinking, no substance abuse, no complaining, no watching the news. And by having them participate with us and go through the vulnerability in the positive psychology, we can learn on a subconscious level to trust people we don't know again.
On your mark, get set, go!
So to run this program, we need to raise money. It is funded by local individuals through a peer-to-peer fundraising event called the Nearly Naked Ruck March. So a ruck march in the military is a training event. It's where we put our packs on, we carry our weapons, ammo, everything we would need to go into combat, and we go for a long hike. So we're doing a civilianized version of that. This is where civilians are welcome to join if they want to raise money to help local veterans. And then we do this ruck march together, and we carry that weight, the amount of weight that we raised in the battle against combat stress. And what they put in their pack is clothes or food that we can donate to locals in need at the finish line. We just open up our packs and dump our pack at the finish line. The Nearly Naked portion is we encourage long underwear or patriotic, yoga type clothing. We have costumes out there. So our ultimate dream is no matter where you serve or what city you're going to, we're gonna have this 14-week transition for you. Every single graduate of the program, both veteran and civilian, has reported living a happier life and a higher quality of life having gone through the program.
For many years, it's been my great honor to have been able to dedicate much of my time to supporting the veteran community. The Gary Sinise Foundation fills a critical gap for veterans and military families with a range of initiatives. The foundation builds adaptive, smart technology homes for our most severely wounded service members, serves the children of fallen military heroes, and provides education and outreach to bring together civilians and the military community. If you'd like to learn more or get involved, please go to GarySiniseFoundation.org. And remember that while we can never do enough to show our gratitude to our nation's defenders and their families, we can always do a little more.
Biggest challenges with starting a small business, I guess mine had to be with capital because we were growing so fast. I would recommend people that want to get funding to start talking to a banker. Sometimes it may not be a traditional banker. For anybody seeking funding or trying to raise capital for their business, there is many ways. So I'll say one was microlending, a traditional bank, maybe friends, family, your own 401k. I actually started with a microloan, a small microloan, and that helped me to establish and be able to prove myself that I could get the loan and that I could pay the loan back. The advice that I would give on creating a business plan is to create that business plan, let it sit for a while, go back and work on it again, and then go back and work on it again. It is like a wheel. It's living and it needs to be revised at each section. For new businesses that are trying to build PR and trying to gain trust of their customers, I'd say right now social media. First thing is have a website. That is the most important thing, because if you want to do business with me, the first thing that everybody does, which is human nature, is just to go out and look at a website. Other issues that female veterans may face that male counterparts may not is just trying to juggle being a mom, a wife, and also an entrepreneur. When you're there at home, you're all in, you're fully present, but then when you have to go work, you just explain to your family that mama's going off to work, but mama's gonna come back. I just say go forth, run your business, and when you're home, be 100% present.
Thanks for watching Hiring America. Log on to our website, hiringamerica.net, for more information and connect with us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel. I'm Lauren Wanko. Join us again next week for another episode of Hiring America.
Hiring America, produced in partnership with DAV, fulfilling our promises to the men and women who served. Promotional consideration provided by JetBlue, a proud employer of those who served.